but how many of you feel adequate technology in your classroom? Okay. On the end of your cables, okay, I have a little strip of paper with a pencil. I want you to pass those out. If you need more paper, just let me know, because I want to do a little survey here. I want you to self-assess yourself. And this is the question. On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being probably the best or most experienced, I want you to rate your technology integration skills in the classroom. Based on what you do, if you have technology, if you use technology, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. Just put a number down for right now. Technology integration in your classroom. How do you feel you are as a technology integration specialist in your classroom? Okay, you can just put that aside for now. When we talk about technology in the classroom, there's certain things that come to mind. You know, we think about Promethean board probably, or interactive smart boards. We think about computers. We think about, I don't know if you're thinking about this now, cell phones. How many of you have a cell phone on you right now? Yeah, how many of you have a hard time not pulling it out to see if you have a text message? Don't lie. People are addicted to it. You know, we were just talking about that earlier. Okay? So in the presentation, what I want to do is I want to show you how we can marry or join technology with curriculum. Okay, so let me get my presentation up and we get started. Okay, my presentation is called The Wedding of Curriculum and Technology. I am a wedding photographer on the weekends, did it for a couple of years, and I figured, you know what, this kind of makes sense. You know, we have two things that we're trying to join here, curriculum and technology. We're trying to marry those two. We're trying to integrate it, all right? So, what does that look like? Okay, we have families that have joined us. We have a couple. Let's take a closer look. Nice looking pair, right? Okay, we have our curriculum. We have our technology. And I put technology because it's a guy thing to do, you know. And then we have our teacher who's going to bring everybody in and try to get those two to work together for the benefit of our students. Okay. So let's look at who is invited. Well, on her side, we have testing. Right now, LEAP. Okay, how many of you are stressed out over testing? You get to that point, right? We're approaching the testing date. Everybody's gearing up for it. And we have a long stretch to go. Then we're going to have a break. And we're going to get back. And everything's going to be chaotic. This kids are going to think school's over after testing. But anyway, so we have LEAP. And we need to keep this in mind because we are transitioning to PARC, okay, which is a more technology-based type of assessment. So we need to kind of gear up as teachers. We need to think about how are we going to get our students ready for an online test or an online testing environment. That needs to be thought of and start practice now. Okay, we don't want to just bring our kids into a lab setting or in some kind of situation where they've never had any kind of exposure to online testing. So I want you to keep that in mind. Okay, technology, pedagogy, and education. I brought these three things up because there's certain things that you have to start doing for yourself if you're not there yet. Okay, depending on what you wrote down as your rating, you need to think about this. Now, there is a model out there currently that's being like passed around across the country, and they call it the TPACK model. Okay, anybody ever heard of it? Technology, and it's called TPAC because it stands for technology, pedagogy, and content knowledge. Technology, how much do you know about technology? How well versed are you with software title, Web 2.0 tools, hardware? How much do you know? For you to truly be able to integrate technology, you need to understand all of those players. And how are you going to introduce your students to it? You need to build up a skill base. Okay, your skills, and they have to be tailored to the content knowledge. What content are you teaching? Okay, if you're an ELA teacher, what technologies are out there for ELA teachers? What technologies are out there for math teachers? And I got to tell you, over the last few years, I've seen some excellent support sites for teachers in the classroom. Okay, Khan Academy, familiar with it? Anybody? Okay, awesome, free. Okay, and pedagogy. How do you teach? What's your style? Okay, those three things have to work in conjunction that you reach this focal point. Now, it's not easy. It is by no means easy. You know, recently we've been walking through the high schools and the middle schools and making observations. And I've got to tell you, you guys work your butts off. I'll watch teachers teach lessons from beginning to end with hardly a breath. You know, they're continually pushing information out there. I gotta tell you, you're working too hard. The work should not be 50 to 100% on you. The students have to work in that classroom time. Okay? But we're seeing teachers just trying to get their point across, and it's really difficult to watch because I can't imagine you guys at the end of the day, you must be exhausted. Okay? Technology can assist with that, but it's going to take you guys to understand how to implement it in your classroom. All right, let's move away from there. Common Core. Common Core is coming. Okay? Common Core is going to require us to increase what in the classroom? Anybody? Rigor. Rigor. How many of you are afraid of rigor? Okay? I'd be afraid of rigor. Not sure how to do that. Okay? But with rigor and technology, those tasks become a little bit easier to achieve. And as this presentation goes on, hopefully you'll see how you're going to be able to do that with the assistance of technology when it comes to Common Core state standards. Compass. What's your thoughts? Compass. Thumbs up if you like it. Come on, don't be shy. Thumbs down if you don't. Okay? Why? Give me an answer. Why are you kind of like not feeling Compass? What's the problem with Compass? Yes.
I like that there's not an evaluation system for us, but your opinion of my lesson and somebody else's opinion of my lesson is completely different. And in talking with other teachers and comparing our scores, I know some people that got higher scores that were observed by different people, and I know that teacher may not be as effective as her score.
Let me ask you something. You've seen the instrument, right? Compass instrument. Do you feel it's black and white?
No.
It's a bit vague in some areas, right? Okay. What did you notice about Compass as it applies to engagement in the classroom? What did you notice about Compass and engagement? If you kind of think back, in that highly effective area, do you see the word teacher appearing?
No. Students take over.
Students take over, right?
Right.
How many of you have a clue how to do that? You have a clue how to do it? And you know what? I applaud you if you do, because that's a tough one. Because again, we're making observations, and you guys are doing all the work. And all of a sudden, what are they asking? They want the kids to do the work. Okay, so how are we going to make that transition? I'm telling you, this can help you. Okay, technology can help you. All right, so keep that in mind. NETS, familiar with NETS? National Education Technology Standards. There are standards out there for educators and for students. Now, to what extent are we implementing any of these standards? Now, is it mandated that we teach technology skills to our kids? Do we have to have technology skills taught to our kids?
Yes.
Oh, we do?
Well, if you wanted to pass bar, you're gonna be able to type.
A mandate that says we have to teach typing in the schools. No. No. There's nothing in our curriculum right now that says, you know, every first, second, and third grader should have some kind of typing class. Okay? When are you going to do the skills, you know, the skill teaching? You're going to have to find a way to integrate it throughout your lessons. Okay? That's how you're going to build the technology skills. Right now, we have no plug-in for those technology skills. So you need to keep that in mind. Okay? I think that's a problem. You? You know, especially when you're going to be asking kids to test typing in a paragraph. What happens to this kid that has dyslexia or has issues with typing and doesn't have the motor dexterity to type on a keypad? Okay? We have some issues coming up. Now, let me just show you, there are standards here for a whole bunch of us. We have it for students, teachers, administrators, coaches, and for computer science educators. So there are standards out there. And I would recommend you guys going to the ISTE site and looking at the standards. Because if you understand standards and what's expected of you as a teacher in the classroom and what your kids should be doing, then chances are you're going to understand how to truly start integrating technology into your lessons. All right, let's move on. All right, the other players, or the other side of the family. All right, his side. Desktop PCs. If you have been in the Fuchs-Barre schools for longer than 5 years or 10 years, we have gone through some amazing changes when it comes to technology. We have spent a lot of money when it comes to technology. Okay? I have been at the ground floor when technology started in Lafourche. And I've got to tell you, it still worries me that we're not seeing a return on our investment the way we should. Okay? And I really think it's because there's a disconnect between this stuff and how to bring the two together. Desktop PCs. Labs in your schools. We've had labs in schools for quite a while now, almost 15, 16 years. Now we're seeing portable labs going into classrooms with netbook PCs, okay? Wireless devices. Tablets, okay? iPads, droids. All these types of technologies are making its way into your classrooms. Do you understand how they work? Do you understand how to use them? That's a problem. We need to understand. We need more professional development. Okay? And in some way, we need a standard. Because so many different devices on so many different platforms make its way into our schools, and as kids go from one grade to another, they have to learn a whole new system. Okay, so I think that's something we need to keep in mind. Interactive whiteboards. How many of you have interactive whiteboards? How many of you love your interactive whiteboard? Okay, especially if you get used to it. When that bulb goes dim or that power is not coming on, you kind of have that little panic attack, right? What am I going to do now? What is that green thing behind my board? Oh, it's called a chalkboard. Okay, what do we do with that? Which chalk? Okay, so that's the transitioning. But I've seen this that just